and we will begin this month's Tech Talk, Tech for the New Year. It's January 2022, and so it's time to really kick it into gear for New Year's resolutions. So I'm just going to be sharing some apps and online resources that are available for you that often connect with really common New Year's resolutions. Before we start talking about the apps, I kind of wanted to go over some things to know before you download anything onto your phone or devices. And this is just a good rule of thumb for anything that you're putting onto your phone. Before you download an app, make sure that your device is up to date. That's going to make sure that the app functions correctly with your device. And you can check this under your settings. Normally, if there's an update, your phone or device will automatically do it, or you'll get an alert for it. Also, it's pretty important to check the source of where you're getting your app from. So with iPhones and Apple devices, the App Store, which is on any Mac or iPhone that you have, and you can see the icon on the screen. And then for Android devices, Chromebooks, Google Play is where most apps are downloaded from. There are other third-party distributor of apps, but sometimes they can be untrustworthy and they download other files and softwares and ransomwares onto your devices, which is never fun. Also, it's good to always research your apps before you download them, especially if they're not highly rated or downloaded. So all the apps I'm going to be listing here have above a 4.5 rating on the app stores that they're from. And they're also reviewed by accredited sources, so they should be pretty safe to download onto your device. But you can research apps really easily. I always think a good Google search of the app's name and then pros and cons kind of gives you other users' experiences and other information that might be useful to you as you're starting to consider downloading an app. After you download an app, I always suggest checking the permissions in your settings. You can go to your settings, apps, and look at the permissions for each individual download on your device. And this is a good way to know which apps are using what information. So some apps use your location. Other apps will use your search history, and sometimes you can specify what information and permissions these apps are allowed to have. And it's also the same with your own privacy settings in the apps. Just make sure that the information you want to be shared is allowed to be shared or is not allowed to be shared. And it's not something to be scared about. A lot of apps use your location and information. It's just something that's always good to be aware of. And then I always think trust your instincts when it comes to downloading things onto your devices. If it seems kind of untrustworthy, it probably is. If something's useful and people enjoy it, it's talked about online. So now that we've done that, we can kind of go into talking about different apps that can be helpful with your New Year's resolutions. And throughout this Tech Talk, please feel free to put anything in the chat about what your New Year's goals are, or if you use any other app that you might want to share with everyone. And if there ends up being a list in the chat, I can put together links for those and email it out when I send this recording out. So first, to track goals and then start healthy habits or maybe stop unhealthy habits, I always find it really helpful to use tracking apps. So Trello is one that's really highly rated and used. I've used it for tracking training at work and creating little modules, and just it allows you to have a major task and then subtask, and it's easy to link resources and connect to other websites and projects in one spot. And it's very practical and efficient, and it's really nice to kind of see everything you're working on in one spot. Some pros to this Trello is that it's user-friendly and it's intuitive, and the collaboration features are really nice. So if your group of friends and you are all wanting to drink more water collectively as a group, you could add them into it and you can track each other's progress. And that could be a nice way to hold yourself and others accountable too. Some cons to it are that it can be kind of simple for complex projects. So if you're working on something that has a lot of intricate steps and layers to it, it might not be the best fit for what you're looking for. And so that's a little bit about Trello. And when the slideshow is sent out, I have links to both the Apple App Store and Google Play Store next to them if you want to browse them. Habitica is really fun habit tracking app. It's kind of a different approach and applies the concept of gamification to creating or eliminating habits. So it's supposed to feel like you're participating in a role-playing game. And it's set up and it looks like a retro video game from the 80s. And you create a character and the goal is to become as powerful as you can. And you do that by meeting your goals that you set for yourself. So I think it's a more fun and engaging way to track goals and create healthy habits. And it's gaining a lot of popularity recently. So maybe you'll be hearing about it if you haven't already. The next New Year's resolution I wanted to share some apps for is getting organized. The to-do list is one that a lot of people automatically download onto devices when they get one. It was developed over a decade ago and it has over 25 million users, I'm pretty sure. And it constantly ranks in the top of time management resources. And it's because it allows you to put everything you need to do in one place, but also you can separate it if you want to focus. You can set custom alerts and reminders. It's very simple. It allows for subtasks and you can set deadlines for yourself. And you can also delegate duties to other people, again, if you were collaborating on something. But the to-do list is a really nice app to just kind of track progress and keep track of what you need to do. So I know I'm always on the go doing different things and I get sidetracked. So it's nice to have a to-do list to kind of keep track of what I've done and what I haven't done. And you can really use it in a way that works best for you. Another app, and it gets a lot of use here in the library, is the Time Timer. And it's the highest rated timer app. And so you can set multiple timers at once and label them. And they have different clock options. So different visual timers, sometimes they're an hourglass, other times it's a clock. And so it's really good for helping kids and adults with productivity and efficiency and focus. And it's a really good option for people who prefer like a visual element to keeping track of their time and completing tasks. Some pros to this one is that it allows for multiple timers at once in the customization options, and it's a really easy to read interface. Sometimes timer apps and clock apps can look a little messy, but this one has a very clean look. However, some cons to it are users have said that it can be kind of glitchy, and then there's an awake mode that isn't necessarily the default. And so that just makes sure you need to make sure your settings are correct and how you want them when you're using the app. The next New Year's resolution that I have some resources gathered for are to expand your mind. And these are actually all library resources that you have access to with your library card. There's never any charges for these, and there's a lot of great options here. So Mango Languages is very similar to Duo Languages, which is a language learning app, and it has dozens of languages. I'm pretty sure last time I checked, Mango had over 60 languages, and it has lessons in writing, reading, and speaking, and it has instructors, recorded instructors who are native speakers, and the lessons are really engaging and interactive, and you can access this through the library. So if you're trying to learn a new language or just remind yourself of what you've already learned, Mango is a great resource to kind of do self-guided learning. Some other databases and resources you have access to through the library are Learning Express. And this offers, it's really set up for adults with busy schedules to improve their reading, writing, and math skills. It has GED test preparation as well as US citizenship test preparation. And it also has a lot of other classes on computer skills, resume building. So if you're just kind of looking to make sure that you're up to date on a lot of these skills, this is Learning Express is a great resource for that. Universal Class is similar. It also has GED classes, but it has other modules relating to cooking, fitness, bread making, arts and music, computers and technology, homeschooling and job assistance, learning English as a second language, even some like parenting and pet care lessons. So there's a lot of variety when it comes to Universal Class and the options that are there for you. And you can also set learning goals for yourself. So you can say that you want to do this 30 minutes a day or 30 minutes a week, and you'll be able to track that progress. And again, it's all free with your library card. You just usually use your library card number and your password to access it. LinkedIn Learning is the final resource that the library has that I think would help with this New Year's resolution. There's a lot of professional online video training to improve your businesses, softwares, technology, and creative skills. What's really neat about having access to LinkedIn Learning is that you earn badges that if you have a LinkedIn profile, you can display on your LinkedIn. And normally you have to subscribe for the service, but the library offers it to Tulsa City County users for free. And so those certificates can be really valuable when you're applying and searching for jobs. And if you ever have any problems accessing these, you can call the library, and we offer assistance over the phone for accessing apps and these resources. The next New Year's resolution I'll have some resources for is saving money. Mint is something that has a lot of advertisements and has really gained a large user base recently. And I'm going to talk about the free basic version. All of these apps are free to download and use the basic version, but then you can pay money for the premium features, but you don't have to have those in order to use the app. But if you find yourself really enjoying it, you think you would benefit from the premium features, that's something that you could do on your own. But Mint automates your budgeting process. It puts together all your bank accounts and bills and other financial accounts in one space, so you can kind of get a picture of where your finances are at. It also tracks your credit score, and so you'll get an alert if your credit score changes, or a ping if someone's looking at your credit score. And really you're just getting like a high level overview of your financial health. And it also allows you to track your spendings and savings and kind of figure out ways that you can manage your money in a way that matches what you're looking for. You can also track all your monthly bills on Mint, and it makes it easy to make sure that you're not missing a payment or being late on a payment. And you can set reminders, and it makes paying and tracking bills really easy. And something there is to know about Mint is it's meant for individual users. So if you're someone with a joint bank account with someone, or you have multiple people who are responsible for bills, they can set up their own account, but you're not able to have the same account, which can be a little frustrating if you're sharing your finances. Sorry. And then when it comes to apps dealing with finances, I always spend some extra time doing research on their security for this, because this is really important information that can impact your life. So Mint does have a really good and solid security. Their parent company really collaborates with large financial institutions to protect your information. They keep things updated. They have multi-factor authentication when you're using it, and other security protocols that make it a really trustworthy app for users. when you download the app, you create a 4-digit security code for your mobile device, and you have to have that for you to be able to access your information. You can also control your account with your mobile access. So if your device is stolen, your phone, you can log online or call and freeze or delete your account remotely to keep your information safe. So just to overview, some pros of Mint are that it links your financial accounts in one place, allows you to set up notifications and alerts for your bills or payments you need to make. You have free credit score access, and the app is also free. And I really like Mint because I think it'll tell me at the end of the month, like, you ate out way too much, get it together. And so sometimes it's just nice to like really see how much you're spending on certain things. But some cons are that there's some financial institutions don't partner with Mint, many do, and a lot are starting to partner with Mint, but depending on where you bank, it might not partner well with Mint. And you also, like I spoke about, can't use joint accounts on the Mint app. And there are also advertisements, but depending if you use ad blockers or not, that might be not even be an issue for you. Zogo is a really fun financial literacy app, and it doesn't collect your banking information. It's more of a learning app that you earn as you learn. So it has different modules and levels that you can go through to learn about investing and saving, applying for credit cards. And it's a lot of information that not everyone learns in school, or maybe doesn't know even where to begin to research and learn financial skills. And so Zogo was developed by a recent Harvard grad, and it's meant for young adults and teens to make financial literacy more accessible and engaging. And as you learn, you earn gift cards and rewards that you can use at different places. And they've really upped the places that you can use your gift cards for. So like last year or something, there weren't many options, but now they've updated it, and you can earn Starbucks gift cards and other things around town, all for learning about financial literacy. And so it's a really fun and engaging app that can make you more knowledgeable about how you're spending your money and saving it in the new year. A New Year's resolution that I always have is to read more, and Hoopla is another service that you have with your library card. Some of you may use it already, but it's a streaming service that's provided for free with your library card that has books, audiobooks, movies, TV, and more. And there are limits to how many items you can check out a month, but it's a pretty high limit. And it's a great way to access items digitally from the library if you're not able to physically come into the library for whatever reason, whether that be your health or it just doesn't fit into your schedule. You can still access the library on your device. And so Hoopla is really great, and it also tracks what you read if you give it that permission. So then you know that you already read something, and you can also kind of score yourself on what you've been reading. And if you're really interested in your own reading statistics, Bookly is kind of a new app that's available. If you are a big reader and use Goodreads, it's similar, but it's lacking the social aspect of Goodreads. This reading tracking app has personalized statistics. It'll show how much you read, what you're reading. It allows you to organize quotes and make reading notes. And then you can also rate your books and organize them in ways that are more customizable to you. And when you track your reading sessions, it provides you personalized statistics, like your reading speed, your pages you read in a day, and how long it takes for you to finish a book. And it's really cool to kind of learn those details about your reading habits. Some key features of Bookly, I just listed a few in my notes, are a timer that tracks your reading, daily reminders to read, book and reading goals that you set for yourself to ensure that you're reading as much as you want to. You unlock achievements the more that you read to keep you motivated. There's also reading sounds available on the app, so background noises to kind of set the tone based on the book you're reading. And it also, if you use Spotify and you're a big fan of Spotify Wrap, it puts together images that you can share on social media similar to Spotify Wrap. So Bookly at the end of the year is kind of like books wrapped for yourself. That's really neat. Other things that the library has going on that might help you read more is we have our winter bingo challenge going on at the moment, and it goes through March. You can learn more about that on the Central Library's Facebook page or by coming into any library branch. We have printed out bingo cards ready for you, or if you don't want to come into the library, you're able to access them online and then email them to the library once you've completed them, and you're entered in for some prizes that will be given out in March. We also have the YNGR service, which is your next great read service. We have one for teens and for adults. And again, when you get this presentation, it's linked in it. And this is a personalized survey that you fill out with questions about your reading interests, books that you've read and not enjoyed, and other things that you're interested in. And librarians here in our system will put together a list for you with different authors you might enjoy and personalized book recommendations that are all available through the TCCL library system. So if you're trying to read more and you just don't know where to start, you can't think of a book that you might like, I suggest submitting a YNGR and you'll get some recommendations. Probably it only takes about a week for a turnaround. The next New Year's resolution, and the last one that I have some apps ready for you, is to relax more. I think it's been kind of a stressful while for everyone. And so a lot of relaxation apps have become increasingly popular. And the one that has sustained the most use is definitely Calm. It's a meditation and relaxation app. And I'm mostly focusing on the free version. There are premium subscriptions that you can have to pay for a yearly subscription and access more content. But Calm, as of 2021, the end of last year, is the #8 most downloaded health and fitness app in the Apple Store. And in 2017, which was a little while ago, it was the app of the year. And it has guided meditations and sleep features. It's really focused on mindfulness and relaxation. Some pros for this are that it's really easy to use. Its content is constantly updated, has a lot of sound adjustment options, and it has different meditation and sleep categories. And it also, what I really appreciate, has meditations for non-meditation people. So they'll have celebrities like LeBron James series or different other meditations that are of interest to people who might just be dipping their toes in the mindfulness waters. Some cons to it are that it can be, some users say it's less consistently effective in its sessions. And then there's also a lot of users say that the free version just doesn't provide enough in comparison to the cost version. So if it's something that you're really interested in, they highly recommend paying that subscription fee for the full content. But something that is free and has really high reviews for the free version is Insight Timer. It's an easy to use meditation app, and it has, it's really hard to find meditation apps that are entirely free. And Insight Timer really does provide comprehensive meditation guides, and it has the world's largest library of free meditations. It has over 30,000 guided sessions that are organized by different emotions and feelings, and it has different relaxing music tracks. It has sections for kids, and then also therapeutic pep talks by different mindfulness gurus. Between the two and a lot of relaxation apps and meditation apps, they're all very similar. It's just a matter of user preference, really. But some pros for Insight Timer that kind of set it apart are the large library of content that it provides in the variety of meditation categories. some cons are there are advertisements, and some users say that it's difficult to navigate the app because it does have such a large library of content. And with that, those are the apps that I have listed. Are there any questions? You can come off mute or you can drop them in the chat, and I'll try to answer them, but I'm going to go over some upcoming events that are happening with the library. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat as well. So upcoming, the library has had to put a pause on any in-person services because of the spike in COVID cases recently here in Tulsa County, but we do still have virtual book clubs. And this year we've started a new book club called Shelf Help Book Club, and it meets virtually the second Tuesday of every month. This next book is Atomic Habits, and it's trying to help you thrive and achieve your goals and practice self-help in a non-toxic way. So if you're interested in reading more and dabbling in self-help books, this would be a great option for you, and the library would love to have you join in on their book club discussions. We also have the winter bingo going on that I mentioned, and you can have your chance to win a cozy gift set. And there's more information on the Tulsa Library website or on our Facebook page. And then finally, next month with the Digital Literacy Lab, the Tech Talk is Me, Myself, and AI. We'll be talking about artificial intelligence and the roles it plays in our daily life and future technologies that are emerging with using artificial intelligence. And I will also have some activity kits available that I can email out or that can be picked up at the library in the beginning of February. That should be really fun. And that's what's kind of upcoming here. Are there any questions before I end this recording and this Tech Talk?